Hello, everyone. Welcome to another ODNT Spotlight. I'm your host, Steve DeWinter, and I have with us an author who's been on the show before, and he is now coming on to us with another book. Book 2 in the Rangers of Laerean series, Where Shadows Fall, and his name is Tom Fallwell. And let's go ahead and switch right on over. Hey, Tom, welcome back to ODNT Spotlight.
Hello, and thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, it's great. And I always love it when I have authors coming back because they've written another book. That's my favorite. And so we've got book 2, and it is called Where Shadows Fall. So tell us a little bit about this story.
Well, we're continuing the story from the first book, actually. The series, I started out intentionally to create a series, but after writing, I got towards the end of book 1, I realized this first story is going to be a trilogy.
Aha.
So this is part 2 of that story, and I am now working on part 3, but that won't end the series. It'll just be an introduction, basically, to the world that I've been creating. Book 3 is going to reveal a lot more of the history and lore of the world of her, and book 2 starts to do that. Where Shadows Fall, we get to meet some new characters. We have to say goodbye to some characters, but I'm not going to do. But it's going to be a trilogy as a whole, just as an introduction. And then I've got all kinds of stories floating around in my head for future books about things in the past and about things in the future and different characters and so on.
So this is going to be your trilogy, which is your introduction to the universe.
Yes.
That you're creating, and then you'll have stories that happen at any time before the story took place, after the story took place.
Yeah, well, see, we're in these stories that I've got out right now. You find out we're in the 4th era of this world, and I am revealing a little bit in book 2, Where Shadows Fall, but a lot more in book 3 about the previous 3 eras.
Oh.
And so some of the stories I have in my mind are that I plan to write later on may even go back to previous eras and tell stories. I've actually I'm thinking along the lines of Silmarillion from Tolkien, where I go back and actually have a creation and have stories that take place back in the history. But also I have plans for things that happen later after this story that I'm currently writing. So
That's excellent. When all is said and done, you're going to have this big, deep world.
yeah.
And you've already got it. It just hasn't been written yet.
I'm still making notes all the time, but yeah, I don't claim to be no Tolkien by any means, but I am trying to build as rich a world as he did with Middle Earth, only this one is mine. So
Excellent. And so you've also got, for the first book, which was called Whisper in the Shadows, you've got an audiobook coming for it. We were talking a little bit before the show began.
yeah, it's still in production, but we're getting close to the end of that, and I found a wonderful guy who's perfect voice for this series, and I'm hoping that will do well, and I can get him to go on and do book 2 and book 3 and so on. So,
Yeah, get some consistency there for the narrator,
yeah.
which is always great to have. And you were mentioning that he's not just reading the story, he's breathing life into it.
Yes, very much so. I've just been real pleased with the results that he's been producing for it. So he's telling the story as a storyteller, not as a narrator.
Excellent. And I was reading a little bit in Where Shadows Fall, and it sounds like you've got dragons coming in. I love it anytime dragons show up.
Yeah, there's the dragon is actually met in the first book towards the end, and they worry at that point. I ain't going to go into too much detail, but they're worrying about what if he escapes. Well, guess what? He escaped. So they have him to deal with in book two, but they also have a group of assassins called the Grom Shakar who are working to discredit the Rangers.
Oh man.
I'll just say there's a single day in book two called the Day of Chaos when everything falls apart. And the by the end of book two, the political and economic landscape of the entire world has changed.
Oh wow. A lot happens in this book.
Yes, and so that's going to continue also in book three. And uh, like I said, you'll meet some new characters. I can tell you one of them is named Ramura, and he is a white lion about the size of a horse,
Wow.
and he is ageless. I won't go into too much detail there.
Don't want to do too many spoilers here.
More revealed in that, but he becomes a companion of Barrick and the ranger who was the main character in the first story. So I've got new characters that'll be introduced, and as I said, you'll be saying goodbye to some old other characters. I'm not going to say who, but some don't survive the Day of Chaos. So
It's a day of chaos after all.
yeah,
Excellent. So, for those of you who are watching this, we now have 2 books in this Rangers of Laerean series. Whisper in the Shadows is already out, coming soon to audiobook. And Where Shadows Fall just came out at the beginning of February. And he's working on book 3. So now is your chance to start picking stuff up and getting ready to hear. Any idea on when this is what everyone's going to want to know. They're going to read 1 and 2 in about a day and a half.
yeah. I'm really trying to have book 3 completed before the end of the year.
Oh, very nice.
Because I do end book 2 with a really deep cliffhanger.
Well, with the trilogy, that's a good thing.
But there's also a nice cliffhanger in the epilogue. So that's going to leave everybody wanting the next book, I know. So I want to get it out as soon as I can.
They're going to be screaming.
Book 3 will be called The Shadow of Narworm. And Narworm is one of the original 12 spirits of creation who fell from grace and now lives in the shadow realm. So he's the ultimate evil, so to speak.
Nice. And I like the name that you chose for him, Narworm.
Yeah.
It's very cool. So you also, as well as doing, busy writing books, working with your narrator for the audiobook, you are also doing kind of like what I do here. You also host a interview of other authors via your Facebook page called Essentia Live.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that. I have all the links down below in the description for, you can check out Where Shadows Fall on Amazon. And you can also check out, connect with Tom on his website, his Facebook, his Twitter, his Goodreads, his YouTube channel, all sorts of stuff. But I also have the Essentia Live Facebook link here so that you can go check it out. But once a month, tell us what you do.
Well, to start with, the title came, I think I talked to you about that in our previous interview I had an event that lasted 10 days.
Right.
On Facebook in which we had author takeovers and character takeovers throughout the 10-day period. And it went so well, but there were some areas I wanted to focus more on, which would be fantasy, science fiction, and young adult type books, those genres. So I thought about what was essential to a novel. What is it that's required? And that's where I got the title Essentia. And of course, live, meaning it's a live interview like you're doing with me, but it's done through chat on Facebook rather than video.
So more people can get involved.
Yeah, but basically the format is the first hour is a 1-hour interview with me asking questions of the author. At the end of that hour, I turn it over to the author and let them take over. And they can bring in characters from their books if they want, and the audience can participate with them for up to the next 2 hours on however long they want to go on.
Wow. Excellent. I love that. That's great. Utilizing Facebook to do something different than what Facebook was originally expected to do. It's great.
Yeah, I'm calling it a magazine, basically. It's essentially a live magazine, and I've done 2 issues, and issue 3 will be March 9th, and I'll be interviewing another author then. And it's been going very well. It starts out, the first one was kind of small attendance and more in the next one, and then now I'm getting more and more people involved and getting excited. So
Exactly. Yeah. As things grow. They have to start somewhere.
I just want to promote indie authors. I've had such good experiences with them for the last year and a half, and getting to know them and learning how to be an independent writer myself, an author, and it just self-publishing and all that. There's a lot of good authors out there that are self-published that nobody will hear about if you just
Yeah.
listen to the big book publishers.
Yep.
So I wanted to highlight them and show them off, and it helps draw attention to me too. So it works. It's a win-win situation for all of us.
Exactly. It's a great thing. And I've noticed that, especially, in the indie authors that are growing and, putting out a lot of content, I'm coming across some great stuff, that just is not going through the traditional publishing system. And, just because it's not been picked up by a traditional publisher, they only get 1% of the people that submit to them. And, they're still putting out 2,000 books a year each for each of the big 5 publishers. They're each putting about 2,000 books out a year. There's still so much more.
Yeah, the big publishers, I understand where they're coming from. They're in it to make the money. So they're going to pick people that they feel they're going to make money off of.
Right.
They can't see their profit in it, regardless of how good the story is. They won't even touch it. And there's some good stories out there that people that are independent have. And I have read some and have been, to me, they're just as good as Tolkien or Anne McCaffrey or any of these great authors, fiction authors throughout the years that people have read. I've read some stories that rival those, right up there on top with them, and very memorable stuff. And I want to highlight those.
Yeah,
So
we live at the best time ever because all these stories are not sitting in a drawer somewhere; they're actually available for us. And that's what I love. I love the fact that they're out there.
Prize too. So
Excellent. So we've talked about your book, Essential Live, the audiobook for the first one. We've covered all the points that I had. Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about before we wind down the interview?
not that I can think of. Just I'll just mention somebody had a post on Facebook. It was a nice big heart, and it says how to tell an author that you love them for Valentine's Day. And basically, it was buy one of their books.
Yes.
So if you want to make me happy, buy a book. Makes me even happier is just to hear that somebody enjoyed it. So
Exactly. And so I've got the link below for Where Shadows Fall on Amazon. And so you can go ahead and check that out. And from there, you can click on Tom's name to see all the books that he has out. And you can pick up the first 2 books in the Rangers of Laerean series. And the third one's hopefully coming by the end of this year. And do you have on your website, I've got the link to your website, tomfallwell.com. Do you have a sign up for people to sign up?
Yes. They can register and be on the become members of the site. that will automatically add you to a mailing list. But if you don't want to be on the mailing list, you can turn that part off. And
Trust me, you'll want to be on the mailing list so that you find out when that book comes out.
Yeah, I don't send out that much mail. So being on my mailing list does not get you an inbox full of stuff from me, but you will be kept up to date whenever something goes on, and I'll let everybody know.
Exactly. So definitely you'll want to sign up for his mailing list to find out when the third book comes out in this series, because when you pick up the first two, you're going to be left with apparently a very big cliffhanger.
Let me mention one more thing. There is a sale going on through the end of this month. If you buy Where Shadows Fall, and then you can use the contact form on my website and just contact me, show me proof of your purchase, and I'll send you a Whisper in the Shadows for free.
Ooh, so get the first one free.
Get the first one free if you buy the second one. So.
Excellent. So hopefully people will see this video and they'll flood you with some emails and show that they've got Where Shadows Fall and they're ready to read it, but they got to read the first one first.
Yep. And
excellent.
There's also a raffle copter deal on my site if you saw it.
Yeah, you got a $25 Amazon gift certificate, raffle copter, 11 days left. So if you're watching this on February 17th, we got 11 days left on that.
Yeah.
So excellent. So that one ends.
They both end of February.
End of February. So if somebody gets it right now, Where Shadows Fall, they can email you now. They don't have to wait till the end.
That's right.
So all this month.
I just need to have the proof that you purchased it through Amazon, or you can get them on Smashwords, or you can buy it directly from me on my website.
Excellent.
However you want to do it, but just let me know that you bought Where Shadows Fall. Show me your proof of purchase, just an image of the receipt or something like that. You can redact out what you need to, but just show me that, and I will immediately send you a copy of The Whisper in the Shadows.
That is a great, great deal and a great idea. I love it. Excellent. So, is there anything else left that you want to talk about?
Not sure.
All right. So, hopefully, we will have you back for book 3. Would love to have you back on to talk about book 3 when it comes out.
Okay. I'll sure let you know.
Cool. Well, hey, Tom, thank you again for coming back on the show. And don't hang up just yet. I'm going to switch over and I'll wind up the interview and I'll be back. We'll chat for a couple more minutes.
All right.
Thanks again for coming back and bringing Where Shadows Fall with you this time.
You're welcome.
All right. So there it is. Where Shadows Fall by Tom Fallwell. It's the second book in his series, and the second book of a trilogy. And right now he is running a super, super special thing. So if you're watching this video in February of 2016, it's right now February 17th. You have until... You have one extra day because it's a leap year and there are 29 days in February. So this deal gets just better and better. You've got one extra day. Pick up Where Shadow Falls. Contact Tom via his website. I have the link down below. For tomfallwell.com. You can use the contact me form there in the top right corner, and you can send him proof of purchase that you got Where Shadows Fall, and he will send you for free, as a thank you for supporting him for his new book release, the very, very first book in the series, A Whisper in the Shadows. So go ahead and definitely take Tom up on his offer. And if you don't believe me and my word for it, just go check out the preview for these books that are on Amazon, and you'll immediately get sucked right into the story, and you're going to be picking this up and getting your free copy of the first one, and then you can read the first two, and then you can grumble and complain for the rest of the year and keep sending him emails every week bugging him to say, when are you going to finish this story? This is too good. So, hey, thank you very, very much for joining me Where Shadows Fall with Tom Fallwell today. I'm Steve DeWinter, your host with ODNT Spotlight. Don't forget to join the ODN team and subscribe to this channel. We have other things coming on this channel, all sorts of stuff happening, and interviews with authors, artists, creators, actors, musicians, anyone who'll come on my show, I have them. So, hey, thank you very much for watching. Have a great day. Don't forget to take Tom up on his super special deal. You've got one extra day this month. Thanks. Ciao.